What's up, y'all? This is Francisco with Covenant Dispatch LLC, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, like I always tell you, if this is your first time visiting my channel, please do me a favor. Right under this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so that this video can reach a more broad audience. And then lastly, hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted for when we do post future videos. Guys, we do giveaways, we do Q&As sporadically. So it's good to hit that notification bell so that they can send you an email and alert you for when we go live and things like that. For those of you who do not know, we offer online trainings and courses. We offer consultation. We talk about independent freight dispatching, trucking, box trucking, all types of topics, but we do offer consultation. If you're interested in any of our online trainings, we have an independent freight dispatcher course. One of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest courses online for the price that it's set at. It gives you everything that you need to know from A to Z on how to start your own independent freight dispatching company. Then we have a box trucking course. And so all of those courses can be accessed in the description under this video. You'll see the link for it. Also in the comments, pinned to the top of every single one of our videos in the comment section, you'll be able to access the link to our courses. With that being said, guys, we're gonna get right into this video. Forgive me if you see kind of like a glare somewhere around here because of the lighting. It might block this out a little bit, but it says $1,000 a week in a box truck. And so basically I'm gonna give you guys 7 practical steps on how you can make $1,000 a week in a box truck. Now guys, this might not be like your typical video. Typical box truck videos on YouTube and online, Instagram, Facebook, teach you how to make money in a box truck with Amazon Relay or maybe even, the load boards. I'm actually gonna give you guys a different perspective on how you can make money with a box truck, but I feel like it's gonna be a good video. Maybe you wanna take notes if that's the kind of learner you are, but we are gonna break it down. So I have my notes here on my tablet, guys, so let me just pull them up right here. So step number 1, so what I'm gonna do actually for you guys is I'm gonna give you the 7 steps and then I'm gonna break down a scenario and show you guys how it kind of works, how it plays out, what it looks like in a real life situation, right? So step number 1, of course, I always say this in every single one of my videos, is you wanna register your business. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'm gonna put biz for short. So you wanna register your business. The reason why you wanna do that is because you wanna be legally within protocol for whatever your state calls for. If you're gonna be doing business, register your business. That way, when it comes times for taxes, when it comes time for, whether that name that you used was whether you were legally able to, and things like that, it just keeps you legally, and within good standing. So you want to register your business. I don't want to elaborate too much on that. Some people choose LLC, other people choose sole proprietor, some people choose corporation. Whichever works for you, do your own due diligence, see which one works for you, and then do that. The next thing you want to do is you want to open up, and I'm going to use biz for an abbreviation, is you want to open up a business bank account. The reason why you want to do that, and I'll elaborate more on it when I show you guys a scenario, is that some of these companies that you want to go do business with, whether it be leasing a truck or whatever the case may be, you need to have a business bank account to access their commercial business discounts that they have available. So you want to have that. Plus you want to have that to be able to trace all transactions that you can, when the end of the tax year comes, you can get your write-offs and things like that. So you want to have that business bank account. Third step is you want to find box truck rental company. Now, there's plenty of them. I'm going to give you guys a couple. Here's one of them is Ryder. Another one is, my goodness, Penske. And I'll throw one more in here. You can even use U-Haul. But U-Haul doesn't have box trucks that sit high and can be backed into a dock, at least for the most part. So Ryder, Penske, and U-Haul, those are just 3 options that you can go by. But once you find your box truck rental company, now of course you want to look around where you live at. You want to compare the prices and make sure you find the one with the best prices. And that leads us actually to step number 4 is, well, it leads us into the rest of the steps. But step number 4 is you want to choose business model. So I'm going to use biz again for short. Now, what I mean by business model is, remember we talked about how most people talk about how you can make money in a box truck by the load board, Amazon Relay, and those kinds of things. I recommend, especially according to this video and the way I'm going to outline it and show you guys how you can make that 1,000 in a week in a box truck, I recommend considering maybe a junk removal company, or maybe even a moving company. And in this particular scenario, I'm going to show you guys the scenario if you had a moving company. So, you know, those are the different ones. It's going to lead us to step number 5. Step number 5 is, once you have your business model picked, which by the way, guys, it could be a mixture of junk removal and moving and a little bit of load board, however you want to do it. But you just want to pick which one you're going to mostly be focusing on when you start your business as a box truck company owner. The next thing you want to do is you want to set the prices according to the market. So what you want to do is, let's say you go with junk removal and you live in Salt Lake City, Utah. In Salt Lake City, Utah, you want to research the market and see how much prices are set for junk removal jobs or moving jobs. See, the difference between junk removal and moving versus the load board is that the load board already has prices set, and the load board rates go according to the trucking industry. But you want to make sure that you do your due diligence if you're looking at junk removal or moving, making sure you're not charging too much. So that way you're not, of course, going above the average or even below the average where you're undercutting yourself. So then that leads into step number 5, which I didn't get to write down, is set prices according to the market. And you know, it's a lot to write, so I'm just gonna put that. Then step number 6, you wanna advertise. Now, the way you're gonna advertise your company is gonna be based upon the daily rates that the box truck company sets, right? So I'll give you an example, and I'll show you guys in this scenario here. One second, let me put this here so you guys can see it. If you found a company, let's say, that charges, and I'll give you guys a real scenario, but just an example, a company that maybe charges like $70 a day to rent like a 12-foot box truck or something like that. If you find a company that is able to do that, then of course you want to advertise your services, but you want to take into account the price that it costs to rent that box truck out. So once you do that, you're able to give the customer, the potential customer, a real life number, range, price. Now, of course, the price is going to fluctuate depending upon the company. They might change it from one day to another. Maybe weekends and weekdays are different. It's always going to change, right, and fluctuate. But you always want to advertise based upon the prices. And so lastly, that's number 6. Step number 7 is stay within state lines. Now, the reason why you want to stay within state lines is because you don't have what's called an operating authority. This whole scenario is a scenario based upon you staying within your particular state. If you want to cross state lines, you need what's called an operating authority or an MC number. We're not going to get into that. I talk about that in our course, box trucking course, and our dispatch course. But that you want to stay within state lines if you're going to operate off this business model. So now let me give you guys an actual scenario of what it looks like, right? Let's just say, for example, you found a company. So you did your due diligence, you found your company, you set up your business, you have your business bank account, you figured out which model you're going to go with. In this scenario, we're going to pick a moving company. You set your prices, everything. You find a company, and let's just say, box truck company has a daily rate of 110. Now, this is real life numbers, right? So this would be for a 16-foot box truck, right? So a box truck, 110 is your daily rate for a 16-foot box truck. And this is actually from Penske, and I use this as a real example. And right now in Tampa, Florida, it's 110 to rent out a 16-foot box truck from Penske. So real life example. So now let's just say there's a scenario, potential customer calls you because you've been advertising, which, by the way, guys, I'm sorry and I apologize. For advertisement, I almost fell back. For advertisement, you want to go with Google Ads. I'm not going to write it on here. Google Ads, Craigslist, Marketplace. You even could do when you want to run Google ads, you can go on company websites like Fiverr.com, find a freelancer that their expertise is running ads, and run Google ads. You can again go on the marketplace. There's Craigslist. There's multiple different ways that you can advertise your box trucking company, but make sure you invest in your advertisement so that you get your exposure out there. The difference between this model and the booking loads from the load board is that the load board already has work for you, so it makes it a lot easier. But in this particular model, you do have to market your services so that you can get exposure to your company. So let's just say there's a scenario right here, right? And in this scenario, a potential customer calls you, and the job that they give you, let's just say it's like a 3-bedroom apartment, right? And it takes up 13 feet of the space of the truck, so you have 3 feet left. It'll take about 3 hours considering a 2-man job, which I'll show you guys how to price that. And then, of course, it would be a 2-man crew. And then on top of that, it's gonna be a 100-mile delivery. So you have to move them. You have to take all the equipment from their home, put it in the truck. Then when you take it to the drop-off location, you have to then take it out and then deliver it. Now here's something that I want to add with the mileage. With the mileage, I would always take 70% of the actual mileage and add 70% to what you invoice, which I'll show you guys with the invoice. So now when you go to actually invoice, and I hope you guys can see this, when you guys actually go to invoice the customer, you're going to take the first thing, 13% of space. So for 13, I'm sorry, not 13%, 13 feet of space. So for the 13 feet of space, you want to charge maybe $100 loading fee. And I'm just giving you guys an example. You guys can price it however you want, but I want to give you guys a scenario. The next thing that you can do is it's going to be 3 hours. So if it's going to be 3 hours, it's going to be a 2-man job to take 3 hours. You're going to charge, typically companies will charge, like say on average, 120 for a 2-man job, right? So let's just say for 3 hours, you charge them $720 because you're charging them, $360 to load the truck and then $360 to unload it when they get to the house that they're delivering it to. So then it's a 2-man job, so that counts into that 3 hours because it's a 2-man job. And then you're gonna wanna go based upon 170 miles, because remember I said, whenever you invoice for the mileage, always add 70% of the original. So let's just say where your company is picking up and moving the house, from where that place is at to the new home is 100 miles. Take 70%, reason being is because let's say you travel 100 miles out, now you have to get back. So you at least want to account for 70% of that, as when you invoice them. So the way you do that is you charge the company based upon what you're going to spend on fuel. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys how that works. Let's say the average fuel cost is $3.98 per gallon for diesel, right? Let's just say diesel. Just giving an example. The box truck takes diesel, right? You take that $3.80 and then you divide it by the miles per gallon. So typically in a let's say it's a 16-foot box truck, depending on what kind of box truck it is, depending on how much is loaded onto it, we're gonna say, let's say 9 miles per gallon, right? So 380, which is the price of diesel, divided by 9 miles per gallon is gonna give you how much it costs per mile. So the cost per mile in this case would be 42 cents per mile. So what you wanna do is multiply 42 cents times 170 miles, and what you're gonna get is 71.40. Now, if you add all of that together, and I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna add one more fee that I personally would add, and that's miscellaneous or accessorial fees, like incidentals and stuff. Let's say when you're loading the truck, it scratches the box truck a little bit, you might take a little bit of a hit, or just like a coverage payment. I would say, let's say anywhere from, let's just say $80. Now, of course, you guys can do it differently, but I'll just say 80. So if you add all of that up, you're looking at a grand total of $971.40. Now, you still have to come out of pocket. And the amount that you're gonna come out of pocket, because let's say you're a business owner. This is just giving you an example. If you're a business owner and you're operating this thing, you're the brains of it. So you hire the drivers, you get the truck and everything like that. You don't even lift a hand, right? Other than overseeing it and managing it. If that's the case, you want to pay your movers. You have 2 movers. You want to pay them at least $30 an hour. So it's a total of 6 hours between both of them. If you add that up, that'll be $360. So that's going to come out of your total that you $971.40 is what you invoice the customer. You're going to take $360 out. Then you're also going to take $71.40 out because that's how much it costs for your diesel to get to where you have to go, and then also pay for the 70 extra miles. And then lastly, you're going to have to pay for that truck, which remember, the price was $110. So now the customer then paid for your truck, they paid for the labor, they paid for everything. And when all said and done, you'll be left with a whopping total of $430. Now, this is just one job. Let's say you got this job, a job similar to this or of this amount at least 3 or 4 times a week alone. You would still reach a little bit even over your $1,000 per week. Now, of course, I can be simple and say all you have to do is get a job that'll make you at least $200 per day on a 5-day week and you'll reach your 1,000. But this is more realistic. You might come across a job that's triple this amount, double this amount, and you'll make far more than $1,000 per week in a box truck. But I wanted to give you guys a different perspective on how you can make money in a box truck versus just relying only on the load boards or Amazon Relay. Guys, we elaborate on this in our box truck course. If you're interested in it, it's a very detailed course. And I believe it's only $179.99 right now. The link to access it is in the course under this video. $430 is what you would make in a scenario given right here. These are real-time numbers. Now, of course, your market where you live at might be a little bit different, so you might charge them a little bit differently. However, this is just for you guys to be able to see. That's how much it really costs to rent a 16-foot box truck here in Tampa. So if I were to start a box truck company and rent a truck on it, now here, let me so you guys can see what it looks like. Let's say a customer calls me today. I got my business bank account, everything's set to go. They call me today, say, hey, I need a job done Friday. Well, I can go look up what it costs to rent out a 16-foot box truck for the day on Friday, or let's just say Thursday, and I'd return it back Friday or whatever. And then in my mind, I say, okay, it's $110. So now I take everything else into account, and then I invoice the customer. And if they pay me the amount, then of course the truck's already paid for. So basically, what I'm doing is utilizing the Penske, Ryder, U-Haul. I'm utilizing their trucks and their daily rates to be able to do work, even though I don't actually own the truck, and I don't have to have an MC number, so I don't have to be relying on the load boards, and I can still make money. Guys, this is absolutely possible. You could go on YouTube and find plenty of people doing something similar to this. I've never heard it explained in this way, but I just wanted to give you guys a different perspective on how you can do that. Guys, if you like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that like button first of all if you haven't done it already. Share it with someone that you know it might help. And then we'll stay tuned for the next video that we put out. I'll see you guys there.